Well, it's fine. That's probably not important. Today's subject, nuances of human connection. Or at the very least, I wanted to just kind of write all my thoughts down about how I feel to better grasp on who I'm friends with, what it means to be friends with someone, blah, 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 blah. Because being friends with someone can sometimes be as simple as talking to them every day and not thinking twice about it, or you can overthink it like I do and make it needlessly complicated. Well, I don't do that with everyone, of course. I think it's best to start with friends that are obvious. Like, you talk to these guys every single day, hang out at every given opportunity, you can tell them about any problems, stuff like that. People like these I would consider my good friends. Like-minded individuals who I value because of how funny and enjoyable they are to be around. Not only due to the fact that we share a lot of the same interests, but also because they're level-headed and I can easily talk to them about any problem I have knowing that they will support me, but they'll also hold me accountable. And I do the same to them. If I ever have any problem with them, I don't mind being upfront with how I feel, because that level of communication is required if you want to keep friendships of this tier. There are people who I have small, even minuscule problems with, who I find it hard to bring up to them, though. This can be a wide range of things, though. Maybe a coworker is occasionally patronizing to you, even if it's not their intention. Maybe it's someone you just happen to talk to in passing, and now they won't stop yapping your ear off. And I mean that in the respect of, sometimes I just want a passing comment to be a passing comment. Of course, there's no fault in the guy who maybe just wanted to have somebody to talk to, and so I don't really feel like bringing it up to them. I just try and shy away from conversation in hopes that they'll observe I wish to stop. I think these two examples, though, usually just means that we are different people. We may share the same workplace or share similar interests, but that doesn't always mean you will 100% get along with people. I do want to express, though, that I think it's possible to not just tolerate people who are different from you, but you should also aim to do so in the best capacity. That usually means communication, which is, because it's hard to get along with someone if they bother you in some way and they don't even know it. I do actually have two people in mind for these examples, but I don't openly share precisely how I feel for a couple of reasons. If you can relate to these examples, I wouldn't doubt your situation might also be complex. For the first person who, since some folks I know in real life watch my videos, we'll just call them Batman, for no reason in particular. I want to express first that I genuinely enjoy all of my coworkers, and Batman is no different. They're older than me and have more experience with many things, so when I do something silly or mess up in some way, they usually sympathize and feel bad for me. And when I say silly, I just mean immature in some fashion, and they don't see a side of me often where I am serious, unlike I am right now. It took some time to realize on my own, although yes, I do not like people sympathizing for me over the way that I am, and I'd rather people respect me as a capable and responsible individual. I don't think that Batman means to suggest I am not a capable or responsible individual when they pity me. Knowing this and truly believing it led me to feel comfortable around them. And like, it's not as if they do it like so frequently that it's a problem. In fact, further interactions with them past that have actually strengthened how I felt and led me to respect them more. And I think that over time, the more I interact with them and maybe the more I can show them a different side of me. But the gap of experience and maturity is a pretty big one. And I'm not going to pretend like if I were their age, I would think, oh yes, look at this 19-year-old. This guy's so enjoyable to be around, maybe. I don't know. Like, that's probably how I would react. So the second person is far less complex, though. It's just a simple matter of I probably won't interact with them that much. For context, I was at the gym at a reasonable hour. Normally I go there at 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. because there's no one else around. But because of the winter storm that was about to hit the south, I wanted to go there before the roads got really nasty and undrivable. I was hitting a set on a preacher bench when a guy asked how many I had left, and I simply replied 2. He elaborated that he needed to get some reps in for an easy bar curl, and that's chill, like whatever, you can do whatever you want, man. He was very respectful the entire time, by the way. Like, at no point was I was like, man, this guy's gotta go right now. No, the only real problem was when I made a passing comment that he was pretty strong for the weight that he was curling. He went off on a whole tangent about what I could do to improve or something. I don't really know, I kind of tuned him out. But because he was friendly and respectful about it, I felt like telling him to stop may end up hurting his feelings, and he could have just wanted to help out my situation because he's been there before and he wanted to give tips to someone new. I think that line of reasoning is perfectly fine, but I also didn't ask for help, so it kind of bothered me. Now, I could have spoken up and admitted, hey man, I appreciate the advice, but I'm simply trying to finish my sets and go home. And maybe he would have interpreted it as me indirectly telling him to piss off, but at the same time, you can do your best to tell someone to leave you alone in the nicest way possible, but you can't interpret it for them, you know? Now, if I keep meeting this guy and the problem persists, then I'll probably end up saying something, but I don't for now simply because I don't have to. Maybe this is a one-time thing, and even if I do see him in the future, we'll just say hi and go on about our days. But if he keeps giving me unwarranted advice, then we're gonna have to make an update video. I'd also like to briefly talk about online friendships, because, like, okay, level with me here. How often have you joined a Roblox game, had a great conversation, or really go along with someone, and after you both friend each other and leave, never talk to or see each other like again? For me, at least, it happens very often, or at least it used to. Sometimes I admittedly get caught up in a moment and don't really actually have plans to hang out with the same person in the future, and other times maybe I do want to hang out with them again but never really get a chance to. If you don't establish boundaries then and there, things can also get awkward kind of fast. Sometimes I'll play a game just once and never join it again. If I do meet someone cool on there, what does that mean for them? Do they just join me and hope I don't immediately leave once I see them? Which, that's another action that can be easily misinterpreted. But there are also genuinely times I want to play games on my own and I don't want anyone to bother me. There are also consequently times where I want my good friends to join me, but not other people. So I suppose the real question is, if they aren't one of my good friends, should I have friended them at all? Honestly, I think so. This is something that's hard to discuss without examining specific relationships you or I have with others, but at the very least, two of my really good friends who I love hanging out with, at one point, hadn't talked to me like in months. Sometimes friendships just take a while, as weird as that sounds. It can seem like you two drift away and may never cross paths again, but I don't necessarily think that warrants like blocking them out of your life or attempting to prevent them from ever interacting with you again. Oh yeah, here's another weird one. Choosing who to hang out with at big events. Some people don't like each other. Some people don't want other people to be around, other people. I do actually have a specific example in mind for that, but again, privacy for all their sakes. But something I would like to touch on is my birthday coming up on the 30th. Hopefully I'll get this out in time. And every year I like hosting a hangout at this one pizza joint for around 10 to 15 people, give or take. I started being actually employed this year, and now I find myself hanging out with a lot of folks who are generally older than me, my coworkers, I mean. Two of which in particular are very fun to hang out with, and as much as I'd love for them to be there, I genuinely just don't think they would enjoy being around a group of 19 to 20 year olds. Is that weird? Like, I don't think it is. Maybe I should ask them to be safe, but if I were in their position, I'd be like, yeah, no, fuck that. I'll save myself the headache. I guess I bring this up just because, like, sometimes it's pretty difficult when you don't feel like inviting someone out to something, and then they find out, and you kind of have to explain why. Objectively, sometimes it's not their fault. My two older coworkers aren't the best example of that because I'm nicer and they'd agree and just be like, yeah, we don't want to be around a bunch of idiots. But there are genuinely times where I'm left out and I have to remind myself that there are more explanations than they don't want to be around me. Like if the schedule doesn't line up, or if there's a certain person there that just, I don't know. And in the event that there is no other explanation than they forgot about you or didn't want to invite you, it can be rough remembering that not everyone considers you to be their close friend, even if you consider them to be yours. Well, in any case, I don't think it's so bad that I might not always be someone's favorite type of person or vice versa. I just wish for something as boring as like getting along with everyone as much as possible. I know it's been all whatever, man. There will always be people you and I can't stand to be around. So at the very least, I hope we can all find a way to tolerate each other. Or somewhere further along the spectrum, I hope I can interact with people I'm not that close with more often. I hope we become good friends and find we have fun being around each other. Bringing that up can come off as kind of like weird. I don't know. Anybody else ever get that? You just like, you really want to be friends with somebody, but you don't really know how to bring it up with them? Or like, you want to hang out with them more, but like, that might be weird to say. I don't know. Okay, to get the elephant removed from the vicinity. Sorry for not uploading for a minute, and I also apologize if this isn't the kind of content you were expecting. But I have a good reasons for both. Okay, first, I just plain suck at recording videos. I have on 3 separate occasions attempted to make videos, and each of them low-key either weren't good enough for my standards, or I just had no further passion to continue editing it. One of them was for the Christmas event, believe it or not, and I still actually might end up making a video on that, but it'll be like completely different. Instead of recording stuff with commentary in-game, it'll be voiced over. The reason that ended up falling on its face was more or less the bad combination of distracted commentary and the stories that the towers had. I am a very distracted person, and while playing something, I tend to get off topic easily or just entirely forget what I was talking about in the first place, especially if I'm also trying to focus on the tower's elements. The 2 story towers weren't exactly bad. In fact, I really enjoyed the gameplay. It's just I wasn't super invested at all, and that really showed in the recording. A similar story kind of happened when I was recording my experience with Tofact and TOTB. I ended up beating the former, but the latter I'm still kind of working on. My PB is like 4.7 or something. I was kind of planning on having them both be in one video, but since I just kind of like burnt out of TFTB, I guess. That didn't happen. So for now, here's just a simple scripted video, something I can properly get out without having to worry about like funny edits or good commentary too much. Hopefully I'll work on my in-game commentary so it becomes more coherent over time. So, although I cannot promise consistent uploads, due to your continued support, which I must say is genuinely miraculous, I will never stop trying. But that also means I'm going to experiment a lot, so it might make content on different games, or I might make more voiced over commentary videos like this, because I actually did have a lot of fun making this. However, if you're purely interested in where the catastrophic video is, I'm low-key gonna need your patience. For the same reasons as most other Ito content creators, I got a surprisingly busy life that doesn't create too much room for grinding. And right now, I'm like a little bit burned out, but I will get back eventually, and nothing's gonna stop that. It's like I said, you can only go so long before getting the urge to push yourself again. Anyway, next video will probably be on the Christmas event. But instead of my reactions in-game, it'll be voiceover commentary and my thoughts about each tower, the items, the boss, and the event as a whole. So stay tuned for the very timely release of that video in March. Lock in. No. Oh.
Where?
What? Oh my god. Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
Dude.